Alright guys, back with another planning video, this time on my TH10. I'm going to hit this number 6, which is I think the second lowest Town Hall 10 in war. It was hit before. I'm thinking of doing a drag attack on this, mainly because the air defense is on the edges, easily accessible by loons, easily targetable by loons. There's nothing, I can just basically get them in there right away. Also, one grounded expo, and then the Teslas are actually right here and here, and then it's a Hound CC. So my plan is kind of complicated. Basically, I want to take out this AD and this AQ. So I figured if the AQ jumps in right there like it is now, I can drop my BK like right here. It'll snap to the AQ. AQ will be probably staying behind the wall. I can send some more wall breakers in behind, and then maybe drop a couple whiz here, drop a poison, and then that BK should basically just fight through and kill the AQ. And then after the AQ's dead, the AD is right there to take it out. The problem with that is it will draw the CC, which is a Hound. The barbs and everything will probably hug the wall and lure the CC. So as soon as that happens, I'm going to drop a archer over here, an archer over here, and an archer over here. This archer should, these other two will path over here and they'll die. This one actually might not die if that archer tower's down. But I'll drop all three of those archers, and then I'll drop a giant here and my AQ here. AQ should take out this, then this, then this, and then keep going down this way. I'll also drop an archer over here. So that's kind of complicated, but I'll basically get two ADs that way, hopefully. And then the leftover buildings will probably be, that's down, this hut's down, that's down, probably that's down, probably. So I'm going to drop a drag on this archer tower, and then, let's see, a drag here, 2 loons, 3 loons probably, and then probably like about 7 of my drags, just like right around this area, and then, oh yeah, baby drag over here. I want them to go down this pathway, so I'm going to save one of the dragons to either, clean up this garbage over here if that's left over, or whatever. And then as soon as the dragons get to about here, I'm going to drop my CC loons. I don't want to drop my CC loons right away because I want to clone them, and I need the room to make sure I'm not going to clone one of my dragons. I have 8 drags in my camp. So after that, basically the drags will actually come down this way, and then just file through the space like that. I will have 7 loons total, so 3 loons are at this air defense, and then I'm going to haste in 4 loons at this air defense. So that should account for all 4 AD. Pretty low archer towers, so I think this is a good plan. I've never really done it on a Town Hall 10 base. I've done a lot of drag attacks on TH11 bases, and they get pretty far. I've done a few drag attacks on max TH10s that actually went pretty well. So I'm hoping this goes to plan. Anyway, I'll be back with the aftermath. Hey, back with the replay. Went really well. One thing I did want to mention before I started this replay is the reason why I didn't break in with the kill squad into this area was because none of this stuff is really high priority for drags. The only thing I could target drags in that area is the Infernos, and they're on multi, they're level 2, really don't do much damage to dragons at all. So unless you're using like a Queen Walk or something like that, the level 2s really aren't any concern for any of your troops, as long as you can get to them pretty quickly. But especially for drags, you don't really have to worry about them. I'll just play the replay, and then I'll probably come back and just comment on it a couple times. Alright, so one of the first things was the fail on the wall breaker. I totally forgot about this mortar here. I should have noticed that. And then my initial planning, I was planning on breaking the wall breaker closer up to this area, so my BK would, wrap around the walls and then enter in at the AQ. But it ended up working out. She's only a level 16. And it's only level, what are these, level 9 walls or something. So that ended up working out pretty good. The other thing that worked out really well, or fortunately for me, was that this one wizard right here ends up taking out that elixir storage, which is always nice with drag attacks, that you don't get hung up on it. So that went well. Didn't end up drawing the Hound CC, which is pretty lucky. That could have screwed me up if it got locked onto my AQ. And then the BK actually worked up here to help with the funnel, so that worked up nicely too. This giant for the AQ didn't really end up tanking very much, and then this Expo, I don't know if that's really fair play right there, but it looks like she's just outside of the range. But anyway, this ended up working pretty nicely too, because there's no splash over here, none of the mortars can reach. She ended up taking out this gold storage, and then the spawned archers ended up tanking for her to take out this other archer tower. So that was all nice. And then the dragons were, pretty good, pretty standard. I ended up raging this 12 o'clock corner because I wanted to make sure that archer tower went down. And it did go down, but it was just like a sliver of health, and it might have been a little bit wasted because that was the only troop inside that rage spell. Um, but it worked out. And then the thing about this attack, I don't want to rewind, but there was a DE storage here, and I think there was a gold storage here, maybe, or maybe here. Anyway, that's anytime you have like high hit point storages or anything like that, you know your troops are going to collect on it. All the surrounding buildings end up going down faster. It doesn't matter if it's dragons or miners or bowlers or whatever. You kind of know that that's where they're going to collect. Those are the last things standing, and your troops are going to try to, bunch up and take that out. So I knew they were going to be able to bunch up into that core, and then the expos and the, there's probably going to be some skellies in there, CC, all that stuff is high hit points, and all this stuff on the edge, it's a mirror of this side, so the sweeper, the mortar, the cannon. The cannon's a little bit higher than everything else, but all that stuff will get taken out pretty quickly. So I knew I just need to get my loons in there, and then the drags would basically bunch up into the core. So back with the replay, I ended up using my drag over in this top corner just because of this elixir collector, or elixir storage. Nothing could shoot that dragon, which is pretty nice, bad base design. And then I hasted in these back end loons, and those ended up taking out that 80 pretty quickly. I think one loon went down. And then the only thing left that can target air is this archer tower, or that can do any damage. So at this point I knew it was wrecked, and just need to make sure I got my cleanup troops down. I think at this point I was checking to make sure there was no corner huts up or anything, and then dropped that last minion. So it all went pretty well, pretty according to plan. So hopefully this helps. I don't know if you're going to be doing drag attacks, but definitely helps to have everything planned out, especially a spammy kind of attack like dragons. Anyway, let me know if you guys have any questions.